Okay, and so this one is an interesting social topic regarding Gen Z and how
Oh, we're all back into
and
it.
We're all
how-
back.
and how they're perceived.
Okay, I'm going to we'll superimpose this, but I'm gonna play this clip, right? Oh,
I can't see.
you can hear it. You can hear it. All right, we'll start now.
Wake up at the butt crack it on every single day, go and work somewhere, and do that 5 times a week? No, like, that's sick. Like, you guys are mentally ill. Listen, I'm not.
Okay, I'm gonna cut that out.
Oh my gosh.
But so I was trudging through everyone's favorite social media platform, LinkedIn, and
plot twist.
I got
Is that where you thought it was going on?
and I got served. This is I don't know if it was Business Insider or Business Online or something. And then so I saw this and like
It has to be business though.
no, it was business. It was business. And then the irony about the topic is not this specifically though. We can talk about. So it was linking to this video and they were talking about it. But in a couple of other days, this same business, I don't know if it's Insider or Online, but this same, and I don't follow
Publisher?
let's call it Publisher, had another one about Gen Y again, Gen Z again, right?
Yeah.
But completely different, but like bashing tone. I'm like, am I just getting so I clicked on it because I wanted to see if this was like status updates or like public, because it's like a status update for the page, right, on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
right? And I couldn't find it. So I don't know if I was just getting served this Gen Z hate, but like I pose an open question. Is Gen Z bashing like in fashion? Like, is it a thing? Like, is it warrant? I mean, like, okay, so we can talk about maybe that TikTok specifically. We've all seen or definitely heard on the socials versions of that, which like it's hard, like the way she's presenting, it's hard to, I don't know if anyone will ever agree with what she's saying. That's the irony of it, right? So she's either hamming it up for clout,
views.
yeah, and that's probably the other thing. Like all Gen Y is big on this too. They started this, but
Did we start it? I don't think we started it.
Did you start the
what do you
fire?
think? Millennials started it. Baby boomers didn't start it.
Gen Y and millennials are the same.
Yeah. So I think
I'm saying
I think we started
that
it.
Gen Y, we were at the forefront of the social media age.
We started it.
We did not start
So who started it?
talking shit
No.
about
Sorry.
older
No,
people.
it's not about shit about older people, but
but that's what you're saying, right?
No, I'm not. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we started using online for clout. Yeah, like using Twitter, like using TikToks and stuff like that. It started with Gen Y just by virtue of
I
ages.
feel like because the way how you presented it first. Now
So that's
we're
what
doing,
I'm saying.
We're doing a deconstruction of
That's what I'm
presenting
saying.
communication and
there
thought.
there is no argument about that. By age,
we
we
can't
did it.
claim that because that's just naturally the base that it is.
and
Like, you know what I
especially
mean?
'cause TikTok is more Gen Z.
Yeah,
I-
but also
Well, TikTok specifically, right? But what I'm saying
everyone
is,
needs to take it down a notch with the we're gonna blast people's
We're
ears,
gonna
right?
But now insert the Gen Z, right? Because they're now like TikTok specifically is for like much more Gen
100%.
Z, right?
They started it, as
versus
far as
Gen-
I'm concerned.
Gen Y. But do we agree that the Gen Z bashing on social media that is just a little bit out of control, or is it warranted?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Well,
Kat, I will hold my time and I will let you be representative first. Very tenuously a representative of Gen Z, mind you.
Well,
I think.
as I said,
She said she was a millennial.
I
right?
identify as a millennial, which is the bridge gap, which basically means the internet can hate me twice because they hate Gen Y and Gen Z. So
What's the years again?
we take that on board. Zillennial?
Yeah, what's the brackets? I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
bracket.
96 to
92 to 2002.
92.
Or I think
What?
it depends on who you ask but I would think it's towards 96 to maybe 2002.
For a millennial. Or is it
Then what's the next generation? gonna
Gen
be?
Alpha. Gen Alpha already exists.
All right, cool.
Well, guess what? Gen Alpha hate is going to start rolling around soon.
Okay, but
What?
The hold, Kat. Sorry.
Okay. Well, what was I going to say? Okay.
I can tell this is going to be a tenuous topic.
Okay. Look, it's like, of course, we know about how boomers they've said their stuff about millennials.
Yes.
Every now and then.
So
and
so
their
Gen
avocado
Y got that,
toast.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, we got the hate.
Let her
Yeah.
let her
Yeah.
speak.
And then now why I think it's sort of the trend of going towards Gen Z is because Gen Z has been provided more of a social media platform. Like they've been conditioned to think that because they have the access to it, they can just say whatever.
That's a wonderful point.
I think that's what it is. And in a way, I guess most of Gen Z like understands that because they put it out there, they're obviously going to get the flack. But of course, flack means exposure, means clout, means interaction. And
But if we, you're right. Like
Yeah.
I like that. But like if we talk about that specifically, if you're going to find like if you know what you're going to say is controversial,
Yep.
or you're gonna get it's not positive. It's just going to be negative, and you actively
I.e. your persona on this channel.
yeah.
if you actively seek it out, it's not. So like I'm just gonna say that there. I'm not
Stares
going to
at
be
the camera
I'm not
like
going to
we're
be
in
bullied on my own
office.
fucking channel.
Next minute,
But-
it's going to be Kevin from Chang Media has been deliberately removed after findings of.
Is that not the issue though? Is that not half the problem?
Sorry, what's the question
The
again?
question is, do we think that Gen Z seeks out this clout like more than Gen Y, and that's half the issue? Because, for example, if we take this chicks like thing, right? I'm sure a millennial has said an iteration of that before.
But they won't say it online.
I don't think so. I think they have. Like, I'm just saying that I think Gen Z, like, go for it. Like, and maybe it's TikTok specifically, because those engines, like, thrive on negative and any sort of engagement to, like, pump up your algorithm.
Yep.
So it's easy to get virality with negative content. Or like, you know what I mean? Like, that sort of engagement. Because to have really positive stuff, it's harder, right? Like, we agree on that, right?
Okay, here's what I'm going to say, right? So first and foremost, Kat, your point about understanding the context in which they've been they've grown up,
Yes.
has led them to that point is 100% it. I believe that everyone is a product of the conditions that they've built in. I mean, I say that as in I've made that point. Everyone says that point. Sorry, this is my statement for like the presidency of the United States. Sorry, that was just too much there. What I'm trying to say is think about the context in which these kids have grown up in. So they have come into technology, they have come into social media, more so to the point where governments are now only understanding the impacts of social media on children at this day and age, right? Where the schools are now banning phones. They're talking about, having campaigns about online bullying and all of that stuff, right? Like they're only understanding what's the impact of it. The kids have been exposed to this nonstop forever, right? And if you're talking about the exposure that we've given to them as well, be it through celebrities, be it through like virality and all of that stuff, of course, I would argue to say, take any generation, flip them around, and if they were to be put into those conditions, I would say, outside of boomers and Gen X, they would probably, or Gen X even to a degree, like it would all be the same story,
Yeah.
right?
There's always something to point out about this generation.
And then the other point to this as well is if we talk about each of the different generations, right? And the way that they've been brought up, we know that we've just been brought up with these societal rules and of engagement of there's certain things that you don't put out because you don't want to impact your opportunity for employment. You don't want to, I mean, in this day and age now, you don't want to be like, the cranky old person that's talking on their soapbox, talking about X, Y, and Z or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, social media is given to everyone. So therefore you will see those different types of characters in the spotlight. The third point there is, what do they have to talk about? You know what I mean? Like there is a point where in each generation, every generation is going to talk about shit about the previous generation because that's trauma for you guys. That's how it works. We
deserve respect your elders.
There is repression there, and obviously the way to have relatability is to make jokes about things.
Yeah.
So therefore, you're gonna make fun of the millennial pause. You're gonna make fun of fashion that they wore, which ironically you've now taken on now and think that it's your own thing in 2023 when we wore that in 1999. It's all of these things where it's just commentary and fodder for no reason, to your point, to get clout, right? And I did have a fourth point, but I took that millennial pause and now I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, so hold on. I'm trying to tie.
It'll come back to
I'm
you.
trying to tie it together. So Gen Z is born 1997, like I said, 2012. So 11 to 26 years old, right? In terms of the range. Gen Z, sorry.
That's it. Sorry.
Okay, okay.
Very simply, Gen Z bashing is a byproduct of the Gen Y bashing, which is a byproduct of the Gen X and the Boomer bashing. And it is purely the only drivel that will keep the news cycle going amongst all the shit that is happening in the world, because why? The world is
It's
shit.
Newsflash.
Terrible.
End of my essay.
Okay,
I
okay.
yield my time.
Period.
But the Gen Z bashing is not only coming from Gen Y, it's coming from boomers as well, right?
Of course.
Yes.
So is it?
And
But
Gen X, yeah.
but I think like
Because it's
boomers had the same preconception of like Gen Y that they were lazy. But do we think that because Gen Z has it, not in some ways
They're
they have it
advanced.
easier,
They're
like they have
advanced.
access to technology.
Yeah.
But do you feel like it makes for like? It's like in my time I did this. It's a softer generation, or like that is that's the
100%,
rhetoric.
that's
that
what
you
I was
hear,
saying.
though, right?
It's all about your context of time. Like, where these kids, I'm even going to go, actually, no, I'm going to go to this. These kids that are now coming up, and sorry, I am saying kids because they're kids to me.
That's
I
11 to
mean that in the
26,
sense
yeah.
of, they came into an age where they can make friends online. Like, even if we talk about our experience, we were in the days of MSN after school. We were probably at the forefront of, using
Of that.
technology to communicate
Social
with people.
media.
You don't have to necessarily meet people like in person, right? And all the more that's advanced in this generation now that are able to, that's all they know and how to connect. Like it's all systemic. It's not systemic. Sorry. It's all a byproduct of the conditions that we're in. And of course, people are going to say, "Oh, it's not like how it was in my time," because that's how time works. That's
progresses,
That's
it
how
changes.
advancement works.
Yeah.
And because
And
fundamentally speaking, sorry, Kat,
Yeah, yeah.
fundamentally speaking, we will always have arguments about our differences as opposed to uniting based on our similarities, because we are different generations and therefore we're going to have different thoughts about different things. If I cite that girl saying you're mentally ill for going 5 days a week, which is absolutely terribly wrong, that's the first thing that I'm going to say.
that's a bad
That's
way
a
to talk
stupid
about it.
But
thing.
she's doing it for clout.
That's
like,
a stupid thing to say, and I get it's for clout, but that still doesn't justify it, right? First and foremost,
Yeah.
right? But secondly, just because that's different to what you're used to in your little life that you have and world experience that you've had so far, like people like in Gen what are we millennials? I'm getting caught up.
Just call it why.
The post COVID, right? Everyone is still talking about this fact of, man, how did we do 5 days a week? I don't know how we did that, right? That's because we have the right to say that. That's because we have the context to say that.
Why do we have the right to say that?
Because
'Cause we've worked it.
Because we've done that. We've worked
You've
that,
worked
right?
longer.
Yeah.
You've worked
Yeah.
longer. Yeah.
Yeah. So coming from this commentary from a generation that does not understand the expectations, and I can appreciate that we're at this sliding age of things that are different. It's the same thing with everything, with politics, with sport, with entertainment. There is this sliding age of when things change. That's fundamentally all that is happening. So why are we blowing up to this degree? I don't know.
It's not. Yeah, I think just to take what you're saying and like run with the concept. I'm trying to understand why we'd be like angry for it, or like other generations would be angry for it. But like the example when Taylor Swift she can sing about so she can sing about breakup
The new
songs.
millennial pause.
But she can sing about breakup songs because she's broken up multiple times, right? Like but what I mean is she draws from that experience.
Inspiration from the experience.
Can you imagine an 11-year-old girl, as an example, and this actually happened. I can't remember her name. She blew up on a breakup song, but it was obviously written for her, and she had not had a relationship there, right? So I think just to extrapolate,
Because she's sourcing from other areas.
I get it, but like I think the point of outrage for older generations that are not Gen Z is like you are talking about things so passionately outside your realm of expectations
or experience.
and you are not only doing that, you're getting virality out of it.
Yeah.
And it really ticks. And the thing is, no one's like you don't hear any of these videos or social media posts about talking about things like they're always controversial. They're not about charity or doing good to the world or
because it's boring. The world is shit.
But hence the point, right? Like the elements that seem to garner like the most heat are stuff about work values.